you.
It's 27 minutes now to go to the hour of 8 o'clock. This is the International Week of Deaf People, and so we wanted to talk to one. But we also have with us this morning Dario Nightengale, who is deaf, but also the owner of D-Scope, and like Bonnie Leonce, my friend, who is his interpreter today. Morning, both of you. Oh, do that again for me. Huh?
I wonder.
I gotcha. Gotcha. Well done. Dario, you're deaf. It's been our immense pleasure to meet you this morning. How has life been for you with deafness?
Okay, my life is a challenge. There's some challenges, but there've been some positives as well. For example, I grew up deaf. I was born deaf. And my mother knew just a little bit of sign language. You know, she tried to have some communication going, but you know, with patience and a lot of progress and over time. Ah, hold a sec. My picture is also in Dario's picture, so some of his signs are being cut off.
Okay.
So I can't see. I'm seeing myself twice.
Right. So let's see if we can
There you
help
go.
you here now.
Okay.
What was Dario saying?
Okay, let me continue. Yes, I've had some challenges. There have been some challenges, but there's also been some developments. I went to school for the deaf. There's some learning, socialized with some of my friends. You know, I've gone to workshops. I've had the opportunity to travel, even though I'm deaf. You know, I've had many things. But, you know, you really want a higher education. Have not been able to do that, but I'm still continuing with my own development. Now that I'm an adult, I have some responsibilities where I have started my own business of craft, making craft coconut out of coconut shells. I'm also involved in media with video recording, and I have a lot of support from the deaf community, so that's good as well.
I recognize some of what he just said when he put his hand to his eye. That's a video. I got that part. That was great. So here you are now, Dario. You own your business, D-Scope. You know, when you grew up, you became that man. Naturally, looking for employment became a bit of a challenge. Tell us a little bit about how inclusive Barbados has been to people like you who are deaf.
Okay, half and half. Some people accept us, you know, but there are some organizations who are pretty accepting of deaf people, and they try to support us and try to aid in our progress. But some people have challenges, but we just try to be patient with them.
A lot of times people think people like yourself who are deaf should only do certain kinds of work. Do you agree with that? And what would you want us, other people, to be able to know about deaf people so that we include you in anything and every form of work?
Yes, we want full inclusion where it comes to job opportunities. We want to be seen as the same. Deaf and hearing, what's the difference? We're all human. We want to be involved. We use our eyes. We have skills. We're very visual. And we work so much. There's so much that we can do. We watch, we understand, we copy, you know, but we need hearing people to be more open-minded so that they'll be able to respect us. I don't want people to say that people can't. No, that's a very closed-minded approach. You want your mind to be open, and we want you to see that deaf people have skills, and they use their eyes, and they're able to do any job which is presented to them.
But then, in terms of your customer base, you know, people would look at you and think, you know, he's deaf, so I'm not so sure he could provide me the services I want. How do you break that down so that people understand that the products that you offer are just as good as, and that your business is a legitimate business and we should take your services?
Okay. Okay, so you know, for me, convincing is more of a friendly approach. You know, I just ask for respect. Once we start with respecting each other, for example, my deaf business, I try to interact with people. I try to maybe teach them a little sign. They want. I try to understand what they're saying, and they try to understand. And we figure it out. I show each other. I show them what I am capable of, and people are very curious, and they are like, oh, maybe you can come and work for me. That's the way. Maybe convincing them in a little steps so that their minds begin to open a bit more and they're more accepting to the deaf community and then become more inclusive.
Have you considered employing other people who are deaf to be a part of your business de-scope?
I haven't thought about it as yet. I just want to improve my business first, develop it some more, and then maybe I can teach other deaf people, for example, about video, video and photography, and those who are maybe interested. Sorry, I can help train them, and then they can better themselves, and maybe they can set up their own business, and show the world that they can as well, not just work for me, but to have their own stuff.
I am so happy to have met you today, Dario Nightengale. Congratulations on your business. Congratulations on everything you've been able to achieve so far. Hearing what Bonnie's is telling us that you're saying, it's clear to all of us that your head is in the right space. And we want to support you in your business. We want to really make a success out of you. So for anyone watching this morning who wants to know more about de-scope and to access some of the products that you offer, how can we contact you to get that?
Okay, I'm on Facebook and Instagram as de-scope. Instagram, Facebook. Hold a minute. Facebook is. Okay, so Facebook is de-scope. And you could just check de-scope. Or I have some cards here. Not sure where I'll leave them.
Right.
I'm sorry, it's pretty, you can't see much of it now. But I do have business cards as well. And I'm also on Instagram. Just look for de-scope. Also, there's some other deaf people who have some businesses as well, and you can contact me, and I can also show you some things. But we know we wanted to have a deaf expo, and we're hoping to have that in November. We've had to delay it. We want to show people about some deaf skills that some deaf people have, and not only deaf people but coders, that's children of deaf adults, and so different various skills that they have, so that we will introduce Barbados to our culture, so that they'll be able to see and understand that deaf people can, and I just want to show you something short. This is something
nice.
that I would have done out of coconut shells. So I have
This is beautiful.
key rings.
Yes.
There are there are many more things I have, many more crafts and products. But it's not only me, but my wife as well. She helps me as well with some of the artistry, some of the painting, and when it comes to all the carpentry and making the carvings and crafting, we're in this together.
Oh, that is so beautiful, Dario. I can't wait for people to really get to it. I like the fact that there's going to be a Deaf Expo showing all that you can do to show that you are just as able as every one of us. So I'm excited about that. So please remember us when that time is drawing near in November to help us help you.
Okay, for sure. Thank you.
But listen, don't run yet, because I heard you say that you're married. Tell me a little bit about, is your wife also deaf, or is she also deaf?
She's hard of hearing. Not fully deaf, she's hard of hearing.
Oh, okay. So I
Yes,
would.
so she's not profoundly deaf, but hard of hearing.
All right, so, but you're doing very well together. So, Dario Nightingale, congratulations on everything you've achieved thus far. We want to show people right after we wrapped up here a little bit more about your business. Bonnie Leonce, as always, thank you so much, my friend, for joining us to help us understand better. And I know, Bonnie, you can talk to us a little bit about the value of sign language and learning that next language so we can also communicate with others within our society. Talk to me a little bit about that, Bonnie.
Okay, so in this week especially, so you know it's International Week of Deaf People, and it's really important that people understand that the world is becoming more inclusive, and people need to understand that it's not it's not common or standard anymore to have an okay, I can't communicate, so that's it. You're deaf, you're not included. We have to make the effort, and Barbados is not by itself. We are part of a community. Barbados is part of the world. So the world is watching us.
Yes.
And, you know, paying attention to us here in Barbados. But really, it's about the human aspect of it. People want to be included. Everyone wants to be included.
Right.
So, you know, learning how to sign simple things like good morning.
Yes, I got it.
You know, hello.
Yes, hello.
Thank you. You know, easy things. And deaf people appreciate your effort. You know, they don't want you to be really a skilled person,
Yes.
you know. That will help. But to show that you're trying, that's important.
You know, we teach French, we teach Spanish, we teach all sorts of foreign languages, and yet the people who live among us, we're never taking the time to teach their language as well, sign language. How important do you think it is that we introduce from a very early age sign language to our curriculum?
I think it's really important. I've been saying that for many, many years. Deaf people have been saying it for many years. It's important. And before people come at me and say, you know, we teach sign language as an extracurricular activity after school, that's not what I mean. We want it to be a formal subject taught formally in school. Deaf people are among us, and possibly you would meet a deaf person before a person that speaks other languages.
You're right.
That are taught in schools. So it's really important, and for me, it's not only about the signing or the language, but it's a human aspect. When we learn to sign, we are including other people as well. So it's not, you're giving them an opportunity. So it's not just about learning a language and, you know, feeling smart.
Yes.
But you're doing two things at the same time. You're learning to sign, and you're helping to become more inclusive to a community that people often just push aside.
Push aside. You know, we could talk about this forever. You have me trembling with excitement indeed. Thank you so much, Dario. Thank you so much, Bonnie, for joining us this morning. Don't forget me when it comes to the Deaf Expo in November. Make sure you keep us in touch with what's happening there. Thanks, both of you.
Okay, I will give you the information. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Have a good day now. As we go to break, take a look at what D-Scope offers. Look at that. Some of the buses, the replica buses, done for, oh, look at that, the green monkey. Isn't this beautiful? This is part of the work and the craftsmanship of Dario Nightingale of D-Scope, the windmill, as we know it there in St. Andrew. The windmill. And these are key rings. These are little tokens. The Chattel House, which is a part of our landscape and our culture and our heritage. The boats on our seas, captured by Dario Nightingale, the owner of D-Scope. And these are all available. Remember, you can find them on Facebook and Instagram. That picture, that hibiscus looks so real. A coconut looks so real, I am telling you. But he also does videography and a whole host of things as well. Sand in that coconut shell. If you're getting married, that's another way of presenting your rings. This is beautiful indeed. D-Scope on IG, D-Scope246, on Facebook, D-Scope1. They provide key rings, bowls, pen holders, jewelry, and a whole lot more. This is how we celebrate who we are. This is how we acknowledge who we are. And this is how we include everyone in our society. Remember, this is International Week of the Deaf, and there's Dario at work, at skill, taking some images and for videography at a wedding engagement.